All right. It made the noise that said that it's okay. And it says the health is good, but I don't know how to change anything. Let's try something. Maybe. I don't know. Is it working? Chats. Hello. This is going to be the worst opening to a live stream ever. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with the everything. So the last stream kind of froze up, and I don't even know if it did or not because it says it's fine on my end, and then I can't double check until I actually like go and see the actual stream on the website when it's finished processing and uploading. So, you know, sweet, awesome. I don't know what word that was. So okay. So we have I don't even remember where I was at. So we had something. We had a thing. We had a whole thing, and I don't know what the thing was. It should be. I know that not everybody else found the link, but it should be I lost the chat too because like there were other things that I didn't even get to in the chat because we were talking about. We got distracted with Daddy Jones, so I don't. Missed. I don't have that chat saved. Let me see if I can reopen that. Reopen closed tabs. Yeah. Nope. No, we can't. All right, so that's the last thing that you guys heard, and there were just So I think I just said I just and did face palming at Brennan Jones trading his sons for a rowboat, but definitely missed out on a lot of other things. Yeah, that would be great if you could copy paste all of that over to something else because there's a lot that I just missed because I wasn't. Yeah, nothing happened. Everything happened and it hurt. So yes, please copy paste that and then I can try and figure out a semblance of where I was. And I can look at my script because we had so just like typing the word N a lot because I'm very upset at everything. Okay, so we have possibly a couple of people. Sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling through and seeing if there's anything else. Maybe if I post it to the Facebook page as well, that will help because everything is awful. Again, sorry if you're watching this later. We're having some technical difficulties. I will get back to discussing the live stream or discussing the episode pretty soon because I love technology so much. All right, and that actually breaks it up kind of nicer if we do it this way too. But yeah, so now nothing is uploading. Yeah, I would love to change the everything to something else, but I don't know how to do that. Yeah, this is just you're dumb, Webcam Central. I don't know how to fix any of that. Let's try this out. Nope, nothing's working. Okay, so I'm just gonna start talking. Everybody's gonna jump in here in a minute. So talking about Daddy Hook, trading his sons into service to get away, typing letter N a bunch. Did we not get anything about Hooked Queen? Oh, I talked so much about Hooked Queen if we didn't get any of that down. How's the frame rate on this? Yeah, it looks like everybody's okay. Let me see if I can do, nope. That's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want either. Can that happen? No, that can't happen. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, I'm pressing buttons and I'm trying to figure out. Nope. And nope. I can't fix it. Sorry, YouTube, stop telling me that it's doing something and I can't do it. I love technical difficulties. Oh, okay, I just see that. Yeah, it just popped up. Okay. Yeah, because this will actually help me out figuring out how much I actually said. And yes, we have Liam 2 that we need to talk about. Can I? Oh, I can make it bigger. Sweet. Awesome. That's way better. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So we have, oh God, no, I don't want that. Yes, we do need to, like, where do we go with this? All right. So that happened. So we didn't even get to any of the Hooked Queen stuff. Okay. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. So we'll get to everything else. We're gonna keep talking about the Daddy Jones thing because OMG. So we do need to talk about Liam II because that's also just like ugh. All right. So we have, yeah, so I probably didn't even talk about the, no, we didn't talk about killing his dad though. So we'll get to that. Okay, now that it's 1,000 minutes into this live blog and we've talked about nothing. Awesome. So we have yes, we had the whole Regina calling him by his name thing, which was like it's a mark of their how far that they've come, but at the same time, like, I liked that he was just like, you've never called me that before, so I'm going to mock you relentlessly for it, because that's all you do is to make me to make up random nicknames about me. But then we have this flashback that was yes, I did get the message on Facebook about that. I'm looking at it right now. It does say something about the message not sent, remove any web addresses because you pasted the web link apparently in the other thing. So I think that's what that's talking about, but I do have it. So there, everything's thrown off my groove. You threw off my groove. Oh my gosh, if we could get Cusco and all that on the show, like, that would be, I don't even know how that would happen, but that would be astonishing. Okay, so we have Regina calling him by his name, and then we have this scene in the in the flashback where she's like, I don't know, I can't even like reenact my reaction to it, because it's so like everything that I would want it to be. She's just kind of this very dramatic exit out of the carriage that I was like, I know that was the promo, but I don't watch the promos. I knew something happened, but he's so unimpressed, and she's just like throwing herself at him, and like, I really just want somebody to tell me that they didn't bang in that carriage, because I'm pretty sure they did. Like, Regina must have thrown herself at him, because that's really her entire body language was just, hey, I'm single and ready to mingle. And I'm like, Regina, I don't know what you're doing, but I need either more of this or it needs to stop because it's not going anywhere because Killian Jones is impressed by nobody at all except Emma Swan. So holy crap on that. So that was an amazing scene. And we also had a nice nod from Adam and Eddie, fanboys extraordinaire, of the Darth Vader force squeeze. Killian used that with Regina. I know it was used later with Nimoy as well, but it was still funny. Then we had Regina doing the whole, like, you have to face your father to be able to prove that you can face my mother thing. And like, that's great. That's not painful in the least. That's awesome. Thank you for that. And here's my other question. Why is everybody in flashbacks a bartender? Like, because we had Robin was a barkeep. He owned a tavern, and Marion worked as the barmaid, and that's how that happened. And then we have Brennan Jones as a barkeep running the bar. And why is that it? Everything? Why? So my big thing, and this, I think this is where I got to before we crashed and burned with the last stream. I kind of wonder how much of the truth Brennan Jones was telling, because it's very, very convenient that he was able to take the sleeping curse, or he got a sleeping curse rather, and he fell in love with his nurse somehow when he was in the Red Room and the Hall of Mirrors and other things in the Netherworld. And it's I don't know. I have questions about how much exactly the truth that he was telling, because it is very convenient that, Hook and his father were alive at the same time when, he abandoned him. And here's where the timeline gets muddled again, because he says almost a century ago. No, it's been a very long time. Like, we don't, I feel like we don't know how, like, there's the Once Upon a Timeline. Once Upon a Timeline is not the story of the show. So we have, somehow he's in the sleeping curse, and somehow he gets this nurse, and somehow they find true love, and he wakes him up from the sleeping curse somehow. I don't know. I'm wondering how much of that was a lie. I really am. I don't know. I'm very curious as to how much of it is a lie, because just my BS meter is just going off like crazy. Maybe it's because I am a little bit biased into not liking anybody who doesn't respect Captain Hook, but that's just how it goes. Yeah, I'm very confused. And then there turns out to be a convenient half brother who is also named Liam. The one good thing that I get out of this second brother named Liam is that since Killian didn't kill his half brother, he just killed his father, we still have somewhere this child named Liam Jones, still running around. Because obviously I'm gonna assume that they're living within Regina's kingdom, because that's how she would know that that Hook didn't kill his father. So he secured passage for him on these ships, and he's getting them out because he's a good person, or wants to be a good man or whatever, and doesn't want to actually kill his father. He's just very angry at him. And I feel like somehow this kid was also swept into the curse. because we just had this conversation about how Killian Jones was supposed to come with the curse, but then he double crossed Regina and sided with Cora. And we've been having some discussion. I've seen some discussions. I haven't been having them because I didn't watch the promo, but I did see before it got hidden away by the spoiler thing, that there was a spot for him in the curse, and we're kind of wondering now what he would have been. And the library was very empty, so perhaps Captain Hook was going to be the librarian. Even though I do kind of like the priest idea that has been tossed around forever. So we have this half brother possibly running around, and he's young still. He's probably I don't think it was too long between when Killian joined Cora and when the curse took over. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but I don't think it was that long. Again, this whole timeline thing is ridiculous. So, like, at most, this child is like Henry's age, at most, probably younger. So we have this kid brother running around who is named Liam. And to get back to my original point, it's good because it means that eventually when Killian and Emma have children, they can't name him Liam. And that's been my whole thing this whole time. It's so annoying to me when I read, like, I've gotten better about it, but like everybody has this headcanon, they're going to name their firstborn child after Liam. And it's sweet, I get it, but now they can't do that because you can't have somebody else's name. That's not how the show works. That's why we named the baby Neil, because Neil's dead and he's not coming back. Yeah, so there's this half brother running around now, and he's got to be in Storybrooke somewhere. He really does, and I'm very interested to see where that comes from. I'm very interested to find out, like, has Killian found him in Storybrooke? Does he know he's there? Because he remembers him, obviously. I mean, it's the thing we're never speaking of again. I mean, does he at least, like, know that Liam's around? Like, is Liam around? I don't know, because he made his brother an orphan just like him, and I don't know. I keyboard smashed here, and I said that everything is awful and I hate it. And I get why he's so pissed off about it, because he just, like, reiterated the same thing that he said to Killian just before he abandoned them. And I get that, and I see it, and, like, does it make it the right choice? Absolutely not. It doesn't. But at the same time, I can see why he did it. It's the whole thing of, like, you know, you can see a character's actions and you can condemn them but still like the character. So everything's awful and I hate it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, I'm like looking through my notes, like, I know I wrote some more about that, but I didn't. I just wrote, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, only with consecutively more and more O's. So that was when we find out that the kid's name is Liam and that Killian's very upset, and then he stabs his father to death, and leaves his brother behind. So yeah, I'm not okay. So let me really quickly jump to this message that has everything that I missed. I don't know. I mean, if Liam 2 is, like, he looked like around 8, I'm gonna guess. Like, he looked to be about the same age that Killian was when Brennan Jones abandoned them. So I'm gonna say like 8, 9 years old, something like that. And I don't know. Like, I would feel weird if they adopted this kid. It would be weird to be like, I'm going to adopt my brother. That's just me, though. I know that, like, that's kind of like a thing that can happen, at least becoming like a legal guardian. That's like how it works with families who there's an older sibling who's capable of it. But to me, just to be like, hey, we're adopting you, like, bring him to the house. Like, sure, yeah, like, let's have him live with us. Like, I'm totally okay with that. But I just feel like adopting to be like, it's my brother's son. Like, that's weird. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going, like, yeah, I would be interested if that's what they're going to do. If they have this kid and like he exists now. Like canonically, he exists, and Killian walked away. He exists. He's alive. Canonically, he's there. So like, it would be interesting if we brought him back to like deal with this. It would be a good storyline for Killian to be like, okay, so I killed our dad. You're my brother, and you're centuries younger than me. All right. Like that would be an interesting way of dealing with things. So yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what this is about. I don't think Liam, like, I don't know if he's coming back for revenge. That would be, it would be different, I think, but I don't think he's going to do that. Well, I mean, you know, we had the storyline, the hook storyline, the magic hook storyline came back a little bit sooner because otherwise they would have forgotten about that because that is a very tiny plot detail. Yeah, okay. Castle and Bones both picked up TNT or USA, also as Charmed. I think TNT airs Charmed. Don't quote me on that. I've never watched Charmed in its entirety. I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but I've never seen the whole thing. Yeah. I don't know about the I don't know about the magic whiskey thing. I have no idea. Okay, so all right, so I'm caught up on there. I'm gonna hide this or get out of here. And go back to nope, that's not what I want to do. I'm gonna go back here. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of like with the whole Lana like exuberantly exiting the carriage. Like that whole thing that is kind of at the height of her madness. So like I can see why she's doing it that way. Because I think Lana said in an interview that she's like, you don't really want to know what I do to get into character because you're gonna commit me to a hospital if you do, if you find out. So like I feel like in that case it is like that's the height of her madness. That's the height of her evilness. So like she is going to be a little more crazy about it. But I I laughed because it was funny. And B, I was just like, all of my hooked queen dreams are coming true. And he's so unimpressed by it. And I love it so much. Yeah. Everybody has two options, be royal or be a barkeep. Well, you know, it's a way of making money. Or a shepherd, because we did have the shepherd people, Ruth and David. I don't know why I just forgot David's name, but I did. So I feel like there was somebody who did make a timeline. Somebody did actually make a timeline and put it together, and they tweeted it to Adam and Eddie, and they did, or to Adam, because Eddie doesn't have Twitter, because Eddie is a smart man. And Adam said, like, that's pretty close to what we have. So, like, they do have a timeline. I just think that some things get lost in translation or during editing, and we lose some of it. So there is a timeline, and it does make sense somewhere. It's just that we don't have the full picture. So I feel like they do, and they're like, yeah, okay, that's pretty close. So, but I think that is as of like the end of 4A. So who knows at this point? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not happy that Killian killed him, made the child an orphan. To be fair, I doubt that that's the first man that the first child that Killian's made an orphan. Was it a dick move? Yes. But probably not the first or the last child that Captain Hook made into an orphan. But I think it will come up eventually. I mean, again, they have this kid. He's there, and like there's a whole definitely very interesting storyline to go through with it. Also, to stick it to the I'm tired of Once Upon a Hook haters, like they can, you know, get over it and stop watching if they really dislike it that much. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think Henry is older than both of his uncles, his step uncle and his actual uncle. But it was really cute. I did like the scene in the diner, like right before Mary Margaret found the letter, with Henry and the baby. I was like, okay, so uncle and nephew bonding times, even though really it would be Henry who's the uncle if it was that kind of an age difference. But it was silly to me, but I thought it was a really cute moment for them to actually like do that. So I don't know, I feel like Liam's younger than 15, but Yeah, I don't like the headcanon that they're naming their daughter Leia. I have already named their daughter. Her name is Elizabeth Swann because she's a pirate king. That's it. Um, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like since we had the flashback though, like I feel like he remembers now that he has his brother, but I don't know if he's looked for him or if he's felt too guilty about it because that's also his thing is, he's being very self-loathing about everything. The angst and self-loathing of Killian Jones. So I don't know if he probably knows somewhere. I just don't know. It would be interesting if he at least like kind of guiltily searched him out and made sure that he was okay. I don't know, because it could be a whole thing with like Hansel and Gretel, like how we had that thing where they're like, oh, well, they're just kind of living by themselves in the shack. Well, we saw how Emma reacted to that. So if nothing else, we might see Liam too coming in and living at the Swan household. So yeah. Yeah. Pirate, royal soldier, barkeep, bar wench, pirate, shepherd. Yeah, that's or crazy pants. I get that. Okay, so I'm caught up on comments after the huge debacle of everything. I am going to jump really quickly over here. I'm going to jump into my notes. So let's talk about, let me see, what else did I talk about? So we did have this. So this is what I kind of wrote this down. I didn't write down a whole bunch of it because I was too busy being absorbed in everything to actually take proper notes. This episode happens, should have been expected. So we had Hook taunting Rumpelstiltskin about how he loves power more than he loves his wife or his dead son. And I kind of chuckled at that. I was like, we really just have to keep nailing in this reminder that like Neil's dead and he's not coming back. I just feel like they just kind of throw that line in there like all the time to be like, no, really, he's dead. And I say this as somebody who doesn't like, I don't hate Neil, but I just find it hilarious that they just keep having to be like, no, really, he's dead. So like, I think that was our first clue that like Rumple was going to do something shady, and he did. Because again, we were reminded that he does love power more than he loves anybody in anywhere else. I do like the little subtle touches where they have for Emma's change of character, I guess, or like she's not the dark one. She's not acting as the dark one. She's just Emma, and she has all this power that's not that great. So like a key for that would be that her lipstick's gone. She's more natural. So the red lipstick is gone, and I like that was like, so Emma means business. She's not wearing makeup anymore. Well, she is because it's TV and that's what they do. And I like that like they have this really good struggle on her face that like it is killing her that she's like gonna probably be forced to kill him, and she's like, I don't want to do this. It's the same thing in the last episode when she summoned the when she summoned the sword to call him into the Middle Mist fields, they could talk. She like had this really visual, like, oh, I don't want to do this. But it's the only way that I can. And like, she just physically struggled with it, but she did it. And I like that we had that again in this episode too, where she was just like, she didn't want to, but she's like, we're gonna have to go after him with everything we got. And there was a comment of like, wasn't Regina the first one who agreed with her on that? And yes, Regina, like the first thing was Regina was like, we're going to go after him with everything we got. And Mary Margaret was like, well, no, this is the man you love. And Emma's like, that man died. We got to take him out. And Regina's like, all right, we're going to take him out. So I really, again, I like it when they have Emma and Regina on the same side and they're not just fruitlessly bickering, because they're so good together when they do. But, so we have that. Oh, so then we have like everybody's splitting up because, as we've seen in Scooby-Doo, that's a great way of doing everything is to have everybody split up, gang. And I liked, so they're walking to check on the kids, Robin and Regina, because they're parents and that's what they do. They're walking to check on the kids, and like the dark ones they have this stupid showdown with Zelena, and Zelena's being Zelena. And I like that they have the dark ones are coming behind them, and Regina and Zelina's just like, oh, the dark ones are here. And like Robin's like, get behind me. And he holds this bow and arrow, and I'm like, Robin, sweetheart, you're being very chivalrous right now, and I appreciate the hell out of that. And I'm sure Regina does too. But she actually has magic, and you have a medieval stick with a piece of flint tied to it. I think Regina's going to be a little more useful here than you. It was a very sweet moment of him to be like, you know, I'm going to protect you, but like realistically, yeah. So we have the dark ones are popping up out of the snow like daisies. And there, I'm trying to remember the mark of Kara. I didn't quite catch the name, and I forgot to Google it afterwards because I have been too overcome with emotions. But whoever the ferryman to the underworld is, which I was Sharon maybe, and we mispronounced it because Robert Carlyle is the one who said it, and he's Scottish. I don't know. So we have this. It looked like a scarab to me on the wrist. So everybody's been marked because we're trading souls around the world. So everybody get in the party boat because we're going on a vacation to hell, I guess. Then we have Regina calling Killian out, Darth Vader powers, very bizarrely sexy scene that I just need proof that they didn't bang in that carriage because really. So we had a very emotional scene with Mary Margaret, and she's just like, I don't want to spend my last moments with my nose in a book. I want to spend it with my family. And Emma is just really upset because, you know, she's like, well, what about Neil? And Mary Margaret's like, well, he'll have you. So it's like Snow's, I like, just for Snow to be able to admit this, and I know I'm like switching between Mary Margaret and Snow, but like honestly, Snow is so much faster to say. Otherwise, I'd just be saying MM. But like, it honestly, it has to be killing her to be like, okay, yes, we are going to die and we are going to leave our children behind, because that is her whole thing. Like from the first episode, her children have been ripped away from her. She's had like we had a whole thing in season 4 where like she was dealing with all this post-traumatic stress of like losing her child again and having him like this time he actually like came back to her. And like for her to be like, I want to spend this time with my family, and then when I'm gone, you and your brother have each other. That had to have like been killing her, because it's it just thinking about it, like that's like her worst fear is to like not be with her children. And like, yes, we had the whole thing in season 3 where she's like, I don't want to be separated from you, David. I will happily live here and build a treehouse and dodge lost boys and arrows for the rest of my life. Like she really doesn't want to be separated from Charmy. She doesn't want to be separated from her family is the whole thing. But like most of all, like recently she's just had so much of being torn away from her children that like just to say that she's going to be she's going to be gone and like all they're gonna have each other, like that's such a thing. And I can't even think of like words because I'm just like having this realization of just like how much of a struggle that should have been for her. And like they had such a good moment where they're like hugging and they're both crying, and again JMO needs to stop with the tears because it's killing me. I'm gonna take another drink. And like then we just have Emma so we have Regina's like, so we're giving up. Cool. Awesome. And Emma's like, no, you're going to kill me. And Regina's like, well, that used to be the goal, but are you sure? So like, she's just totally prepared to be like, I'm the savior. I'm going to save everybody one last time. So, you know, hi Buffy. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm having Buffy feels. So Emma totally being prepared to just be like, all right, you're going to kill me and we're going to get rid of this darkness forever. No, really. She's my baby girl. I don't know. I can't even think of any more words to say. So we had the Rumple thing. It is water and not alcohol. It's like I've just been so emotional that I'm just like I can't even. If I was drinking, I would not be very eloquent. um, and I need to. And I honestly, if I was drinking, then my throat would be even drier because because alcohol dehydrates you instead of hydrates you. Imagine that. That's why you get hangovers. Um, let me check on comments really quick. Oh yeah, Killian was doing the whole lot of the angry jaw twitchy thing. There was a lot of that going on, especially like right after Emma left the letter, when he was watching her. At that point, I was sure that it was Killian being like, because there's been the whole theory going around that like this was all a ruse and like he's got this plan, he's under like, and it turned out he didn't, but then he had a change of heart later after Emma almost died. Like he did that, and like at that point, I was certain that it was a ruse because he's looking at her leaving this letter and he had to have known what was going on with that, and the whole angry jaw twitching there. I was just like, he's mad because she thinks that he's crazy and she's going to take all the darkness and kill herself, even though like he's the one, like, and it was going to be like that was his plan the whole time, is like he's going to do all that, and he's going to be the one that takes all the darkness and kills himself with that. So like, yeah, there's a lot of angsty jaw twitching. I'm waiting honestly for there to be a gift set of just like how many times he did the jaw twitch, because at least it like in that scene alone, just when he's in the alley watching grannies, like it was every like 3 seconds was just a lot of angry jaw clenching. So yeah. Yeah, everybody keeps trying to find loopholes to bring Neil back. Not happening. Once you bring a baby, like that is the thing. Once you name a new baby after the character that's died, they can't come back because you can't have two people named that. So it's not happening. So yeah. I actually wasn't paying attention to the way I'm more enamored with JMO's hair because we have the same hair color. So like her new short film was released today, and like I've been staring at the image of like what she did with her hair, like how did she do that? How can I do that with my hair? So honestly, like I pay way more attention to JMO's hair than I do her hips, because I'm never gonna have hips like that. But yeah, so I did not pay attention to the way she was doing her sexy walk. I believe you. I'm sure that she was, but I get way more hung up on the way that they do Emma's hair to actually pay attention to what else is going on. Her hair and her makeup, because we have very similar coloring. I'm always like, now what are they doing with that? How can I do that? Basically, how can I be Jennifer Morrison? I need to do ballet and hot yoga all the time and have a dog named Ava, basically. Yeah, Robin is definitely the Hawkeye. If we're going on the very few bits of canon that I will take from Age of Ultron, Robin or Hawkeye being like, yeah, I have a medieval weapon and there's aliens and gods. I'm screwed. So that's the bit of canon that I'm taking away from that. And that's definitely who Robin is in this situation. Yeah, there's a lot of Buffy stuff happening, and can we not? Jane Espenson, I'm looking at you. And yeah, I wasn't paying attention to how she did it, how she was walking, honestly. But I'm always looking at her hair. To be perfectly honest, I'm always watching the way they do her hair. Like it's like at the end of again when she was in Gold Shop, I was just like, how was your hair like? It's wavy and it looks messy, but it's on purpose. And how did that happen? And I don't like. I realize because she has a style team, because that's how TV works. But I just want to figure out how to do that. So yeah. Let me see what else. Oh, so we have Regina and Emma go to Rumple's shop to get her the sword, and like honestly, the way that he looked at her right before he went to go get I thought that was a really important look. The way that he was just like, whoa, you're serious, you're actually going to be like the dark one but also the savior, and how does that work? Like it was and now looking at it, I'm just like, well, that's when you're going to pull your dick move and you're going to dump this magic potion all over everything and ruin everything forever, Rumpelstiltskin. So like I thought for a moment that we were gonna have a nice moment where Rumpelstiltskin looked at Emma Swan and thought, "Wow, you're actually gonna be a big hero." And no, he was just being an asshole. So we have the Gina and Robbie. The wand makes a comeback because it had to come back sometime, I guess. And the whole thing with like Regina's like, well, last time I didn't believe in myself. Regina, you've been listening to Henry too much. And then she sends Lena away, and thank God Lena's gone for a little while at least. I was really honestly hoping. I'm looking through my notes now because I know that I missed a lot and it's been a long time. I was honestly hoping that Belle would just go all over the world happily and live her best life and come back with like, I don't know, a snow globes collection or something. Why did I say it weird like that? Also, snow globe. From the last episode, there was a snow globe, and or from 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago or something, there was a snow globe, and why was there a snow globe? So yeah, Emma leaving the sad letter, angry jaw twitching Killian, everyone's a bartender, lying Papa Hook. Why is JMO crying here? Oh, because we went back to the house and she was gonna go to the basement, I guess, and like summon everybody and just summon all the darkness or something. I'm gonna guess that's what she was gonna planning on doing. And somehow she fell for the oldest trick in the book, where back and forth with Killian, and then all of a sudden Henry's there. Like, really, Emma, come on. I know somebody had to hold the idiot ball to be able to. Yeah, so that was the oldest trick in the book, but whatever. Yeah, so then like everything else happened and I just wrote I'm not okay. Yeah, I didn't write anything down about the way that uh the way that like Nimue was choking Emma, and like she couldn't kill her because you can't kill the Dark One without the dagger, and Nimue wasn't going to do that because she kind of wasn't here. And like that, you could see that moment where Killian realizes that yeah, he still does love her and he's like not going to let Nimue hurt her. And that's when like the light bulb came on of like, no, we need to stop this. And then Regina is the one who really liked it. Like Regina was the one that like pushed him and was like, we've been down this path before, do you really want to do this again? And like I like it when people and characters who don't really get to interact positively. And we get him this whole speech about how he wants to be, remember me as a hero. I'm going to die a hero, and I'm going to be, that's the man I'm going to be. And if I die this way, then that's who I'll be remembered. And like, I'm paraphrasing a lot because I didn't write anything down. All I wrote was, I'm not okay. That's literally the only thing written on this part is I'm not okay, because I'm still not okay. And we just have like, she's just weeping. Like there's so like tears just rolling down her face. And she's like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, she can't live without him and he can't live without her. But this is his penance. He's paying his penance for what he did. And like, she already didn't listen to him once about this. So like, if she had done it again, like, imagine how pissed he would have been then. And it's, like, so like she had to do it. Like there's this, like, I was kind of thinking like, well, somehow they both get stabbed, like how when Rumpel killed Peter Pan, he kind of stabbed through and got both of them somehow. So I was thinking like, obviously, like I have seen some pictures, like obviously that's not what happened, but like it could have been that like they both get stabbed and then everybody goes on an underworld adventure to save both of them. But again, like Emma didn't listen to him the last time he said, let me die and I don't want to be this anymore. So like she listened to him this time, and that's what ultimately heals her, and it like gives him his happy ending back where he's with her because she's his happy ending. So like if she listens to him, that proves how much she loves him, and that's his happy ever after. And I'm very emotional. Um, so then he this point somebody pointed this out where I saw this in a gift set before I got online, or before I jumped into this, where when he's collapsing and when he's finally dying, it looks like he's moving to like touch her hair, which would be a common thing for him to do because Killian Jones is nothing if not obsessed with Emma Swan's hair. But actually, it looks like he's pointing. And when it pans out, we have the wide shot. You can see he's pointing as he's collapsing. So he might have been pointing towards Rumpelstiltskin, that he knew what was happening, that Rumpel lied and manipulated everything, but instead he died before he could say anything. So there's that to think about. And then I looked at, like somebody said just that he pointed to him, and then I saw the gifts and I was like, okay, so that happened. So then he dies in her arms and he sees her one last time when she's not the Dark One. Her hair is free and flowing as it's supposed to be, and she has the red leather jacket on, and she's weeping over his dead body. And you know, it's super necessary to have them covering him up on the gurney and Emma clinging to his hand as he's being pulled away from her. And if she stops touching him, then he's really gone. And mascara's running down her face and she's holding on to her mom. And nothing is okay. Nothing will be okay until March when it comes back. So we have Emma can still hear the dagger, and then Rumpel did everything, and Rumpel returned the status quo. That's the whole thing again. I said that's the beginning. The status quo has been returned. This is how it's going to be, I guess, until the end when we finally figure out how to get rid of Rumpelstiltskin forever. Emma goes pretty hardcore about everything. And I liked the scene in the kitchen where Emma's just like, we're going to go get him. And everybody's like, what? And Robin did not do very much this episode, but he did have some good zingers, and he had some, like, what little he did a lot with. So we had the point where, you know, he's being Hawkeye and he's like, I'm going to protect you. And I'm like, you're not going to do very much. And I like that he's just like, forgive me if I am missing the obvious. How does one get to the underworld? I like that Robin's just the one that's just like, point of contention, how? And then we have, you know, Emma's strong-arming Rumpelstiltskin into cutting himself and cutting him his palm, because why do we always get magic from the palm? Because there's so many nerve endings here. Cut your thigh or something. If you have to enact a magic spell that involves blood, cut somewhere that doesn't have as many nerve endings to it. Like, again, your thigh. Your thighs do not have very many nerve endings to them, and not as many vessels so close to the surface. So, you know, for anybody who needs to do magic spells, it's not, don't do your hand. So he gets blood and he drops into the water, and that's how we open the underworld. And then Emma drops the charming family motto, I will always find you, and I'm gonna die and be dead until March. Okay, so I'm going to check comments because I let those go for a while I finished everything else, because if I didn't, then we would never get there. Yeah, so yeah, I wish Belle had just left. It would, like, and that would have been a good way to write Emily out for her pregnancy, if she was just off, like, traveling while they were in the underworld. However, it looks like either they're just not going to be around when she's pregnant, unless we have some flashbacks into how Storybrooke is right now, and I don't see why we would, because everybody's there in the underworld, so I don't really know how they're going to do that. But like, so we either have, Emily's going to be in Storybrooke and we're not going to see her very much, so the whole pregnancy thing is going to be a big deal, or we're just going to have Belle baby somehow. So I don't know. I really wish that they could have just had Belle off and living her best life. So I don't know. Yeah, I see why Emma would have fallen for it, but it's still just like, Emma, it's the oldest trick in the book. Come on. um, so everything hurts and I'm dead. Yeah, I'm gonna Leslie Knope that as well, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm sad. Um, Robin, Killian, David should never be left alone for very long. Yeah. Um, I think with the like pricking your finger, I actually don't know why we don't just prick our finger, but it might just be like you need a certain amount of blood, and like if it's coming from a little drop, like I don't like even if I like my cuticle like gets cuts off too deeply or something, like there's still like it's a lot of blood, but like there's not as much blood unless I like slash my palm or something. So it might just be the amount of blood, but they never say how much blood you need. It just says you need the blood of whatever it is to do it, and I'm like, okay. So I don't know. Uh there's like cutting palm thing like that's just something that happens a lot in magic, and like there's even this rule in like some magical universes of like, you know, wizards who have to use, or mages who need blood use their own. And if I ever hear like I'm trying to think what Nico said in Circle of Magic books, something like if you need to strengthen a spell, mages seal it with blood, and the ethical mages use their own. And if I hear of you using anybody else's blood other than your own, Tristana, you'll regret the day you ever met me, or something like that. I think that is almost the exact quote because I have read those books about 1,000 times, and I have paragraphs memorized from it, but I don't think that might have been a little bit of a misquote. But yeah. So yeah, Emma's saying the quote. That's yeah. I'm dying and I'm dead, and I'll see you guys in March. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, so I don't even have any theories for where we're going yet. Like I've said, yeah, some people don't bleed very much with fingerprints. It just depends on who does what. I bleed a lot if I have a head wound, then I'm just like gushing blood, but like my fingers don't really bleed that much. So it just depends. So yeah, I don't even like have theories. I have no ideas of what's going on. Because again, I don't look at spoilers, and I know that they filmed like I think they're up to like 14 or 15 episode 14 or 15 now. Like they're a couple months ahead now, or they're a couple episodes in now to the beginning of next season, or next half of this season. So I haven't looked at spoilers, so I don't know what's going on. I am curious to see what the overarching story arc is for this season, because I thought it was going to be Dark Swan, but because they kind of said that that's where it was going, but now it doesn't. So like usually we have one cohesive thing covering the entire story, the entire season, and I thought it was going to be Dark Swan, but it's not. And it wasn't even like Camelot. It was just like the darkness in general. And now it's just back in Rumpelstiltskin. So like, unless they're dealing with Rumpelstiltskin, unless they're dealing with Rumpelstiltskin at the end, which I'm gonna doubt that that's the case. They might. I don't know. I don't know for certain though. I'm kind of curious if we're gonna like how long are we going to be in the underworld? Is it really going to take the 11 episodes to take care of all of this? Because I feel like it won't. Like we didn't spend that long in Camelot. Like we had the 7 episodes that were really Camelot centric, and then we kind of deviated and did something else. So I don't really know, and I don't really know what's going on. Like I know who's coming back. I know who's coming back. I've seen casting announcements. But I don't know. I'm just really interested in seeing what because we always go back to like we had the whole thing with the author and how that was tied up in the finale of last season. So I don't really know, and I'm curious to see what the overarching plot line is that we wrap up at the end here. I don't know, because we had like even season 3, there wasn't like this huge storyline that was wrapped up towards the end. It was all about Emma and Emma finding her home. Because in Neverland, it was her dealing with the fact that she's an orphan, or she considered herself an orphan still. And then, we had the whole talk about how she's going to go back to New York after all this is over in 3B, and how, at the end, it's Killian who brought her home, and and he gave up her home for her, and all, like, the whole thing was there's no place like home, which why we brought in Oz. um, so I'm very interested to see what the overarching plot is for this season, because I don't think I've found it quite yet, unless it actually is just Emma and Killian figuring their shit out, because we have had some very heavily centric things about their future, and like, we have a ring, and we had her talking about proposals, and the house is the future together. So like, if like that, I'm believe me, I am okay with that being the overarching story arc, is Captain Swan being together, and that's their happily ever after. But I don't really know. Like, I haven't figured out anything else. The only thing I can think is like the baby with Robin and Regina, but I don't know. So yeah, yeah, I know about that. The Killian, I do know that Mila's coming back for one episode, but it's because she's dead, and it's the underworld. I actually am very excited to see if Mila and Emma meet. I have a very dear headcanon that if they did ever meet, then like they'd kind of snip each other at first, but then they'd realize, oh hey, I respect you for reasons A, B, and C, and like they actually get along quite well, and like it actually turns out very badly for Killian, because he's like, wait a second, you like each other, and now you're talking about me. Stop it. So I'm very interested to see where they go with that. But I do know that she is coming back for an episode. So yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in 5B. That's my whole thing. My phone is blowing up. I'm sorry. So yeah. Yeah, it is. I would think that about second chances and redemption and all that. I can see that. I feel like a lot of it, if that is like, the thing is, we have all these epic storylines, and I do really like what we do on the show, but we have this issue where all these things happen, but we never have time to really heal from it, because it all just happens one right after the other, bam, 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 and there's no time to heal or even like breathe between crises. And like, we don't get a chance to talk. Like, we had that 6 weeks in Storybrooke where I'm sure that there was a lot of discussions happening, and a lot of talking, and a lot of like, okay, so this is what's going on with this, and this is happening here, and this is how I feel about this, and what do you think, and what are your feelings? So I'm sure that happened then. Well, we didn't see it, so who knows what happened in the 6 weeks. So I don't really know. But we don't really have like the redemption and the talking about it, and the working it out like real people do, because we just don't have time to. So I don't know. I'm interested to see where we go, because there is a lot coming up. Like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It does feel a little more, it feels a little less like this is a 5A, 5B, two completely different story arcs. It feels less separate than the last couple of seasons have been. It does feel a little bit more like one's going to bleed into the next one. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I am interested to see that it feels way less clear cut than like the last 2 seasons have been, with the Neverland, and then with Oz, and then Frozen, and then the Queens of Darkness. It feels a little less cut and dry, and I do appreciate that, because the cut and dry thing kind of gets a little aggravating after all. But again, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I don't know if Neil's coming back. I haven't heard any rumors about Michael Raymond James coming back, which, if he does, hey, I mean, whatevs. But like, to be fair or unfair, depending on how you view it, people like Mila and everybody else who has kind of died They didn't really get to have their say at the end, whereas like Neil got this whole deathbed speech where he and Emma kind of resolved their issues, or at least like, forgave each other or whatever. And that doesn't give him a reason to come back. And yes, and whereas like Mila and Killian, like, all she had time to do was tell him that she loves him, and then she died, which, that doesn't scar anybody for life or anything. So like, yeah, so Neil got the deathbed speech and like nobody else has gotten that. So like, there's not really a reason for him to come back. But Mila, like, there is a chance for them to like have this resolution. And personally, I would love to see Mila like spit in Gold's face one more time, just to be like, one final screw you. I would love that. But yeah. Oh, the shared heart thing. Dude, okay, so we have the shared heart thing, and I'm so waiting for this to, like, bite somebody in the ass. Like, really, I'm honestly surprised that we haven't had it come up yet. But, like, again, if we're going to, then if this is coming back now, then, like, it's the perfect time to discuss it. Because, like, I feel like Hades is just going to be like, so you think this is a good idea, but in actuality, it's not, because reasons A, B, C, D. And I'm very interested to see if we get a discussion about it at all, because I feel like I'm honestly just waiting for this to bite somebody, because we have them sharing this heart. And does it mean that they share a lifespan? Because, like, so then that extends to, like, if one of them gets hurt, like, does the other one get hurt? And if one of them dies, does the other one automatically die? Like, I have questions, and am I gonna get answers? It's my only thing. So I don't know. Yeah, so there's a lot of discussion. There is a lot of things that like has been revealed that like at least Captain Swan has talked off screen. Outlaw Queen has definitely done most of their talking off screen. They have not gotten a lot of screen time together. But like, Robin has even said, we talked about this. Come on. So like, there's a lot of discussion happening off screen. I get why it happens. It doesn't mean that I have to be particularly happy that it happens, but c'est la vie. Yeah, there is going to be a lot of things that need to be dealt with, especially with this season, but I just feel like it's going to be very fluffy and reunion-y at the end. It's not going to be this actual, like, unless the finale is a 2-hour therapy session, which honestly, I'd watch the shit out of that. But like, there is so much of just like he said all that stuff that was really hurtful, and and she didn't listen to him, and she, like, there's so many things that like they need to talk about, and I just feel like we're not going to get time to do that. So yeah. So, oh, Neil and Emma talking about Neil. I mean, they might talk about Neil if they did meet, but again, it happens in a really weird roundabout way. Mila could have been Emma's mother-in-law at some point, if a lot of things had gone differently, which is, it's honest, it gives you a headache to think about, but it happens. I don't know. The whole Elysium underworld thing will be interesting to see if that actually plays out. If we actually go that far into it, that we see the Elysium fields and we see the underworld and we see all these different layers of hell and all that. Because I'd be interested to see which level of hell that Killian goes to, whether it's the greed or the rage part. I think greed is level 4, level 3, and rage is level 7. So that's I've kind of been thinking more level 7, if we're going to go on Dante's Circles of Hell, but that's just me personally. My feels of it. Yeah, I don't know, and that's again with the whole thing with the sharing a heart thing, because to me, I'm the kind of person who, like, when I'm plotting something, I either think it through way too much or I don't think it through at all, and then my beta makes me think it through all the way and is like, okay, time out. You need to give me every step of how this is going to go. because otherwise it's not going to work. And this heart thing is the same way. Like, it's a good idea in theory, but like, really though, we need to like think this out, and like, there's so many little clauses that could go into it, and I'm just very curious if they've applied any to them at all. So I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. And there's a couple of things with like Dante's levels and the Greek mythology. I don't really like. I don't know what they're doing with any of this. And to be quite honest, I don't want to know until they tell me. So there's a lot of things that could be. There's a lot of ways that we can go, and if we're gonna go, I think we're probably gonna go more Greek because that's how. That seems to be the way that it's going. And I'm sorry, my phone is like blowing up with text messages. So I'm just double checking that nothing is wrong. No, somebody just sending me a picture of corgis and other things. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go. I have no theories on how it's going to go. I do have one theory. I have a theory that Killian's going to put up a lot of fuss about coming back. He's going to be like, no, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I'm not leaving without you. And he's like, well, you're stuck here and I don't want you to be stuck here. So you're leaving. And there's going to be a bit of an argument about that. I guarantee they're going to have a fight about him coming back or not. So that's my only, like, I'm 99% sure that he's going to put up a fuss about coming back to life. That's my only almost for certain guarantee about how this is going to go. But other than that, it's almost midnight for me where I am, and we've been going on a long time. So if that's it, I'm going to let this refresh a little bit and see what happens. But otherwise, I think I'm out of things to talk about. As for we will definitely pick up with another live stream March 6th. Let me double check. Which, I didn't even realize it's like December 6th, and we're not coming back until March 6th. Ha, 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 ha. There's some poetry there somewhere. I just don't know what it is. So March 6th, actually, I should be either getting into or just getting out of my spring break. I don't know when my spring break is. So if I'm on spring break, then yay. If I'm not, oh dear. So I don't have any morning classes. It's fine. Let me double check. What's my spring calendar look like? This is all super interesting to everybody listening. Oh, that's final exams. Sweet, that is actually my spring break. So I will be able to be on here a long time. Oh, I just almost exited out of the bed. So definitely we'll be back March 6th. I'm doing a live stream then, and we will continue on from there until whenever the season ends, which I'm gonna guess probably May 8th. I'm gonna put the season finale at May 8th. The 1st or the 8th probably. And I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm probably going to do a couple of videos in the meantime, in between. I don't know what about yet, but I do want to get back into the actual swing of making videos. And I'm almost done getting all the parts to build a computer that actually has like power to it and can actually like export videos fast and, do the things that I want it to do. So come spring, there might be a whole new setup for me shooting these things and doing everything. So if that's all, I think that's going to be it for me. So the Fields of Punishment are the Fields of Asphodel. So I don't know. The Fields of Punishment. Well, Killian did kind of threaten Poseidon or Triton or whoever Ursula's father was, who was a god. So like, you know, take from that what you will. So I don't know. It might not be angst at the end of your birthday. So well, hopefully it won't be. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. But we will reconvene at least with the live blogs for sure. March 6th. I will try to get some videos out in the meantime. I really do want to get back into making videos. I feel like such a slug, like not doing it, but at the same time, like I just don't have time to. Like I kind of realized today that between like my working hours and like how my like life is kind of shifted around, like I'm not awake for more than like 3 hours of daylight, and that's kind of like really messing with my head. So I'd really like to get back in the swing of things and be less of a person who's less of the queen of the night people. But hopefully I can do that. No promises, but I'm definitely going to try. I'm sorry, Yoda. Maybe I'll make a Star Wars video because, oh my God, Star Wars comes out soon. So yeah. All right, I'm rambling. This has gone on long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have a frog in my throat now, or bubble. Thank you guys so much for watching and putting up with all the rambling nonsense and the technical difficulties. I really appreciate it. I do. And I will see you next time. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.